I'm Michelle Price, the Chief Executive Officer of AustCyber, the Australian Cybersecurity Growth Network. And what we're tasked with doing as a federally funded non-profit entity is to grow Australia's cybersecurity sector. So it's as simple as that and as complex as that. Cybersecurity has a horizontal role across every sector of the economy, and that's why we're here today to talk about how cyber fits into the business of events. The major threat and risk issues facing the event world is not a straightforward answer. Cyber criminals, who are the most active adversaries within the general economy, target anything and anyone that makes money in the first instance, but might also have information that can lead to money. And so, of course, the events industry having lots and lots and lots of information, not just about people, but about other organisations that they work with as part of doing their business, is absolutely of interest to cyber criminals. It can also be of interest to nation states, countries who wish to cause harm to other countries. And Australia is one of those destinations that's known worldwide for putting on great events, for all of our natural and cultural kind of attributes. So, of course, from time to time, it might be that an adversary in a nation state might want to wish to do the industry harm as well. The number one thing that events people can do to protect themselves, their organisations and, of course, their customers is to care more. That's what we say a lot to outside of sector, is to say that care more about what your data is doing. So that's not just about passwords, although that is a very straightforward thing that we can do straight away to do more to care about data. But it's also understanding what the ramifications are if we get it wrong, as well as the ramifications if we get it right. Getting cybersecurity right means that you can have a competitive advantage over anyone else in the market as more and more customers are looking for due diligence around what their suppliers are doing on cybersecurity. So caring more about what happens with data and how it can impact your organisation in a positive way as well as a negative way is really important. So the emerging threats space is looking at how more and more, of course, we're acting as individuals as well as entities and societies online. We can't draw a line anymore between the physical and the virtual. That's really important to note. So that means that every single thing that we do now as humans on the planet has some kind of digital dimension to it, whether it be going to the doctors to receive some help on a health issue, right through to how companies try to have a market advantage over their competitors. Everything in between does have some kind of digital element to it. If it has a digital element to it, of course it can be attacked. And so making sure that we protect that is absolutely about how we perceive the future of security as being at the very foundation of everything that we do. Security is going to become much less about a siloed endeavour and much more about an integrated business risk, both in that positive risk sense of growth as well as that negative sense of needing to look after things so that things don't go wrong. So what you should do when you have a breach is actually be honest about it. And this is in part what we need to do to change culture, is to be able to understand that firstly, transparency is one of those things that actually underscores trust. If your customers don't trust you, they won't do business with you. So if you hide a breach or a compromise from your customers in particular, but also the broader economy, in the longer term, it will come out and you will, in some cases, lose your business as a result. So transparency is really key. But to understand that actually most companies don't know what to do, and there are plenty of places now where you can go to get help. Sometimes that help can come in forms that are a little bit intrusive. If it's a nation state, you'll have the Australian government knocking on your door. But in the more common day-to-day things, even your accountant can be armed with the information to help you deal with a breach and how to do it well. We are getting better at it. There's a long way to go, but the more that we feel comfortable in being transparent with each other and rewarding that transparency rather than throwing bricks at it, we're going to get better as a society. And that's where we actually immunise ourselves against those malicious actors.